welcome, and thank you for joining us. My name is Armando Ueda. I'm the Sea Grant agent for IFAS Extension Sarasota County, and one of the organizers of this Sustainability webinar series, along with Michelle Atkinson, agent from Manatee County Extension. And we're pretty excited that you can join us today. And our first webinar is going to be hosted by Sarah Kane, the Sustainability Program Coordinator, for our office. And here we go.
Okay, can everyone hear us okay? Okay, no issues, I don't think. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for having us today and listening into this webinar. Today is the first presentation in a series of webinars, and at the end I'm going to talk about the other topics that will be throughout the year. We thought we'd start the first webinar with what is sustainability. Since this is a sustainability series, we're going to talk about what is sustainability today. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, you can go ahead and put them in the chat box, and then we'll try to answer them all at the end. So I'm going to go over what sustainability is, why does it matter, and then I'm going to go over some of the Sarasota County sustainability initiatives that I work on and my team here at Sarasota County Extension. And then we're going to talk about different topics of sustainability and what you can do to be more sustainable in your own lives. So how do we define sustainability? You might have heard the term before, but you might have heard or seen different definitions of it. We define it as satisfying our present needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. It's leaving a legacy of enhancement. I also like to think of it as people, planet, prosperity. It's a balancing act between the economy, the environment, and the people that live in our community. I love this graphic because it really shows the balanced approach of sustainability. In order to really be sustainable, we have to look at the economy, we have to look at the people that live in our environment and in our communities, and we have to look at the environmental commitments that we're making. And when we try to do projects in sustainability, we try to look at all three of these pillars. And for meeting all three of these pillars, we know that we're being truly sustainable and making the optimal decisions about various things. So sustainability is very broad. It includes everything environmental when we're looking at the environment in our community. So it includes agriculture, what you do with your lawn, water, climate change, consumption, economic and fiscal management, education and outreach, energy, green building, health and natural environment, planning and policies, transportation and waste. I'm not going to touch on all of these things today, but I am going to talk about the main topics within these categories and talk about what we can do to help. So why does it matter? When we're living sustainably, we are decreasing our energy consumption, our water use, our waste, the toxins that are released into the environment, the use of fossil fuels for power generation, and also our utility bills, so we're saving money at the same time. But we're increasing and we're improving water quality and supply, our air quality, our environmental quality, human health and safety, our comfort, our quality of life, using renewable resources for power, our resiliency, and our self-sufficiency. I really like to look at an ecological footprint. You also might hear it as a carbon footprint. This is a really good tool to see how you're doing in your life with living sustainably. So there's lots of quizzes that you can take online. There's one here, but if you just Google ecological footprint or carbon footprint, you can find all sorts of different quizzes that you can take, and it'll give you a good idea of how you're doing. For example, You might fly a lot, which causes a lot of carbon emissions, but you also might compost at home, which will reduce your carbon emissions. So it's kind of really fun to play around with, to see what you're doing already and how you can improve on that to be more sustainable. And why does it matter? It's the right thing to do, and why not? If we improve the environment, what harm is that going to do? We're just going to continue to improve the planet that we live on. It makes economic sense. So when you're doing efficiency work, energy efficiency, water efficiency, you're going to save money on your utility bills. Our resources are not infinite. Our actions today can last forever. And when we look at sustainability, we try to look at the local level, the regional level, and the global level. We're one world. And the programs I'm going to talk about today are really focused on the local level, but we can be looking at all of these things broadly. We impact our own vitality, which is great. If we improve our quality of lives, if we become more sustainable and live within our means as a species. So why do we care about sustainability in local government and extension? The economic future equals jobs for our community. If we're looking at green jobs, the economy, if we're improving quality of life, all of these things matter. People want to live here and move here and get jobs here. Healthy communities and employees. So we want to work in a great place and improve our quality of life. And we think that's important for our community. People move here to Southwest Florida because of our environment. So we want to maintain that and preserve it. Also, community building and partnerships, that's really important. Working with other organizations within our community, making it a more sustainable place to live. And then we try to lead by example in local government. So all the programs I'm going to talk about today are things that we're trying to do internally and externally in the community to be more sustainable. And that way we can encourage others to do the same. So we want to lead by example and show leadership. So our sustainability office was actually formed in 2002 with the sustainability resolution, which was really early on for sustainability offices throughout the US. Now you'll find sustainability offices and staff throughout the entire country, and it's really, really picked up in Florida and Southwest Florida in recent years. So we have 2 sustainability full-time staff here, and we often have interns and temporary staff, but we really work on all sorts of different projects. In 2006, we did a roadmap to sustainability, which is our sustainability action plan, where we're looking at all sorts of different topics and setting goals for ourselves. In 2008, we were certified as a Gold Green Local Government by the Florida Green Building Coalition, and that was actually the highest certification at the time in 2015. So because we're trying to be sustainable internally as a local government, we developed some policies. In 2005, we started a green building resolution, which basically we're looking at our county buildings and making them more sustainable. And a green building certification is a certification from a third-party organization that looks at all sorts of different categories. So energy, water, indoor air quality, and landscaping. Those are some of the categories that you can get points for. And if you do these things, you will have an efficient building. We're actually in a green building here at our office at Sarasota County Extension, so come visit us and check it out. In 2006, we did a 2030 challenge resolution, which is basically setting goals for our new buildings, our new construction, to be to not use fossil fuels. So you'll see all of our new buildings in Sarasota County are green certified, and most of them are certified by the US Green Building Council. We also have an incentive for the community. We have fast track permitting for green building. And in 2008, we did an energy management action plan to set goals to reduce the amount of energy use and water use in our buildings. And we've done quite a bit of that, and we're doing even more right now, where we're upgrading all of our buildings to be more efficient, changing out light bulbs to LED light bulbs, changing out water fixtures, doing some major projects. And we're taking that money that we're saving on our utility bills to put it back into improving our buildings even more. We also work on resiliency planning and sea level rise. Right now, we have a strategic action plan item for 2020, where we're developing an internal vulnerability assessment, where we're looking at our county buildings and seeing how they might be affected by sea level rise. We're expecting to get that done by the end of the year. We also have some sea level rise language in our comprehensive plan and our post-disaster redevelopment plan. And we also try to participate in community groups for sea level rise and resiliency. One example is the Climate Council of Sarasota, Manatee, where we participate in those meetings and on the education committee. We also have some internal teams where we're looking at our facilities and our fuel usage, and we get together with all the different departments in our county to talk about how we can reduce the amount of energy and water in our buildings and reduce our fuel consumption. We have county employee education, so all new employees that come into the county, and we have over 2,000 employees, they all get to hear about sustainability and what they can do to be green at work. And we have some other classes associated with that as well. We also have electric vehicles in our fleet. We just got the first all-electric Chevy Bolt at our office, and we have a charge-up rebate program to try to increase the infrastructure of electric vehicles within our community, and we give rebates out for that. We have a huge focus on energy efficiency. So we have an energy upgrade program where we work with volunteers to go into low-income housing units and improve their water and energy usage to be more efficient. And I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. And I'm also going to talk about our Partners for Green Places program, which is a program for nonprofit organizations to be more energy and water efficient. We have an annual Sustainable Communities Workshop, which I'm very proud of. This year is going to be the 15th annual, so we've been doing this for a really long time, and that brings the community together. Anyone can attend that. It's usually in late November or early December, and we talk about all sorts of different sustainability topics, everything I'm talking about today plus more, and we bring in speakers from all over the local area and other states to talk about sustainability best practices. We also do free classes, events, and outreach. We have classes on green living, solar, green building, universal design and visibility, which is aging in place, electric vehicles, and we have some financing classes about a program we have available called Property Assessed Clean Energy. We try to work with the the Economic Development Commission of Sarasota County. We also have Randy Penn in our office that manages the Green Business Partnership. So we try to encourage businesses to become green. And we can, and you can check out our website for more details on that. But we have about 230 businesses in that partnership. We also have kits that you can check out at the library. We have a do-it-yourself energy and water audit kit. So if you want to become more energy and water efficient in your home, you can check out one of these kits, test some of your appliances and how much energy they're using. And it has a whole books and guides of how to reduce that and save money at home. We also have a family green living kit that should be coming out beginning of next month. And that will be a kit that you can check out at the library as well. There's also another kit that's not on here, but it's our Natural Resources program has a kit, Explore Your World Backpack. So I'd encourage you all to check that out as well. We try to work with our neighborhood grants team to do sustainability projects at different condo and neighborhood associations. And then we have an e-newsletter, blogs, and social media. We also try to encourage waste reduction. We're working on a strategic plan right now with our waste reduction agent and other agents in our office, and then other departments throughout the county for plastic reduction. So we're going to be making some internal changes to reduce the amount of single-use plastic we're using and get rid of styrofoam. We also try to encourage composting. That's really important. We have composting classes here that Randy also teaches. And then we have a sustainable events guide that we're working on right now. It's supposed to be coming out this summer. In our community, within the county and within the community, there's lots of events on the weekends, especially right now during the season. So we want to try to reduce the amount of waste that is produced at these different events. So we're going to be presenting this guide to these different community groups that anyone can use to do a sustainable event. So I want to talk a little bit more about one of our grant funded programs that we're really excited about, and that's the Energy Upgrade Program. It actually started in 2012 with a Department of Energy grant. And it's a series of workshops that we do where we give away a kit of energy and water efficiency devices. And we do a whole class on behavior change and how to save money through energy efficiency. And it goes through no cost, low cost, and investment cost ways to save. The workshops were given at neighborhood groups, clubs, libraries, anybody that would really have us throughout the whole community. And in 2016, we realized, we got some data, and we realized that we really need to be reaching low income groups in our community and underserved community members. So we started working with the Salvation Army, United Way, Children's First, and Habitat for Humanity, which are all groups that already work with these clientele. And we asked them if we could provide our program and our classes to the people that they were already reaching. So we're really proud of that. And I did just want to mention, because I mentioned equity, this is an energy equity program. It's kind of a unique term that a lot of people haven't heard before, but it's something that we're really focusing on in sustainability now throughout the country. And I love this graphic because it really shows the difference between equality and equity. So equality is sameness. So in the picture, you'll see every person along that fence has the same box, but they can't all see the game. Equity equals fairness. And it's about making sure that people get access to the same opportunities. So you'll see now the child can see the game because he has 2 boxes, and the adult doesn't need a box to see the game. So that means it's fair. So everyone has the same view. We have a housing affordability problem in Sarasota County, as many areas do all throughout the nation. But the reason why we started working with the low-income people, one of the reasons is we did collect some data, and studies show that more than 53,000 low-income families in Sarasota County are cost burdened, and they're spending upwards of 30% of their monthly income on housing costs alone. So a lot of these houses are inefficient because they're older and they can't afford to upgrade their appliances and make them weatherized so they don't have leaks and more efficient. So this is some more data from the Department of Energy, and this is for Sarasota County, and low-income people in Sarasota County are spending 13 to 19% of their income on energy bills, and that is versus 2 to 3% of median plus income people that are paying 2 to 3% of their income on utility bills. So that's a huge inequity that we have in our community, and that's what we're trying to do with our Energy Upgrade Volunteer Program, is we're trying to close that gap and help the people that need it the most. So in 2018, we started a volunteer program, and we're going to be doing another volunteer training session in September. So that will be posted on our Eventbrite site and our website and our social media as soon as we get those dates nailed down. But if you're interested, please sign up and help us. And you can become an energy coach. It's a series of 5 classes, and it will cover energy and water conservation techniques, low and no cost energy upgrades, and then other sustainability topics like green building and solar and human health, and financial aid for energy improvements. But we basically train our volunteers to be able to do a mini energy and water audit. And then we go into public housing units, low-income public housing units. We partnered with the Sarasota Housing Authority to do in-home installations and evaluations. So we're going into their homes, we're doing a mini energy and water audit, and then we're identifying leaks, things that need to be improved, and we're installing devices. So we're installing LED light bulbs, faucet aerators, and other things that are going to save them money on their utility bills. These are some of the units that we're working with right now with the Sarasota Housing Authority. And I have lots of stories and examples. Would love to share with you more at another time, but this has been really impactful, that we're able to go in and talk to these people and not only educate them about energy and water efficiency, but other things as well. And we've noticed that there's a huge education gap in little things like how to save energy at home. If you just turn up your air conditioning system a couple degrees in the summertime, that's really going to save you money on your electric bill. Or not having your window open up at the same time where you have your AC running, fixing leaks and doing these different types of things that can really make a difference. There's huge inequities on how much these people are paying for their utility bills. We came across one situation where a resident was paying about $260, $280 on their monthly bill, which was only one of these duplexes that was 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, which is way too much. They shouldn't be paying that much. So we realized that their air conditioning lever was broken, and we tried to get that fixed and then also educate them. If they keep their air conditioning a lot higher in the summertime, they will save a lot, about 50% at least. And then we're also providing the education sessions and the do-it-yourself kits to, we also do these classes at the libraries, but to these various different underserved community groups. And then we're doing one-on-one consultations at events that are already happening through the community, or sometimes we'll do a help desk at a church, for instance. There are some programs that have assistance for people that can't afford to pay their utility bills, and we'll meet them when they're trying to get that assistance and give them a kit of materials. Another program I'm really excited about is our Partners for Green Places program. It's a grant that we received at the beginning of last year. We're in our 2nd year of it. And it's a collaboration between Sarasota County Sustainability, us, and the City of Sarasota Sustainability. We also received funding from the Gulf Coast Community Foundation, the Charles and Marjorie Branzik Foundation, and the Sarasota Community Foundation, or Community Foundation of Sarasota County. All 3 of those major foundations in our area have contributed funds to work with nonprofit organizations to look at their buildings and get an energy roadmap, so a deep energy and water audit of their buildings. And these are going to human services and environmental organizations. And they're getting this roadmap where it talks about a return on investment for their building and what kind of projects they can do. And then we're giving them money to do the projects, to do the energy upgrades of their buildings. And they're taking the money that they're saving on their utility bills, which is very significant, and they're putting it back into their programming that helps underserved communities, low-income communities, and environmental organizations. So far, we've given out grants to 16 nonprofits, and we're in the 2nd phase this year, where we're implementing those projects now with with the other the other nonprofits. We started with 3 pilot programs at Historic Spanish Point, Harvest House, and Children's First. So now I'm going to get into what you can do as a resident, what you can do as a citizen living here. There's many different categories of sustainability, like I mentioned before. One of them is the natural environment. So you can explore the natural environment by getting outside, learning about our habitats here, and enjoying our natural areas. There's many things that you can do to experience the natural environment, and we have a lot of those programs here at our office. So I'd encourage you to check out some of those. We have nature tours, you can go hiking, biking, birding, snorkeling, or kayaking. And just learning and experiencing these natural environments on your own is going to make you appreciate them even more. Try to be an advocate. Talk to your friends about litter prevention, wildlife protection, land acquisition, water quality, and ways to improve your community. And do those things yourself when you're on the beach. Pick up the trash off the beach and encourage others to do the same. So one of the other categories is water. And I like this graphic because we can talk about where is water being used. If we're looking at both indoor and outdoor spaces, if you have a yard, you're using most of your water from the outside. And I'm sorry you can't see the reference here. We got cut off, but this is by the Southwest Florida Water Management District. And you're actually using about 59% of water when we're looking at both indoors and outdoors, water going to outdoors. And indoors is about 41.3%. But if you look on the right-hand side of this graphic, you'll see the toilet is actually the biggest contributor to your water usage inside your home. And that can be a good thing because it can be easy to fix or upgrade. So you can upgrade your toilet to be more efficient. You can fix the leaks, which is a huge water consumption issue. It can be. And then the other categories, washing your clothes, taking a shower, and all the other ones are pretty small. If you have a leak though, you definitely want to fix that as soon as possible. So what can you do to save water? Fix your leaks. If your toilet is leaking, more than likely it's the flap in the back that you need to replace. And you want to probably replace that a couple times a year. You can take shorter showers. You can turn off the water while you're brushing your teeth. Use WaterSense products, which if you see the logo there, that is a third-party certification that by the EPA. And so if you see that logo on faucets or aerators or shower heads, anything that you might find in the sink or the kitchen for water, you can look for that logo, and that's a third-party certification that's saying that basically you're going to save about 20% on your water if you buy those devices. You can look at dual flush toilets, which a lot of other countries already have, and we have those too. They're getting less expensive, so you can look into getting one of those. Water efficiency outdoors, use Florida Friendly Landscaping, which is going to be another webinar topic coming up, so I won't go into great details about that, but you can definitely check it out on our website and learn more at the next webinar. You can use a rain barrel. We do have rain barrel classes both in Sarasota and Manatee counties. And I know here in Sarasota, we have them at different locations, every single one. So you always have an opportunity to buy a rain barrel for $38. You can come to the class, get it, and then learn how to install it and take it home. And then we also have free irrigation audits from our office. So if you have an irrigation system in your landscaping in your home, you can call our office and one of our master gardeners or one of our specialists will come out and do an irrigation audit for you and give you tips of how to improve that. Also in Sarasota County, we have the Neighborhood Environmental Stewardship Team, or NEST. Molly Holland is her name. She does that program, and she'll actually come out to your neighborhood association and look at your pond or look at different things for your landscaping and give you some tips about how to improve those things. And in Manatee County, Michelle Atkinson can talk about this more at the end if you have questions, or you can reach out to her. But they actually have some really cool stuff going on. I had heard about their toilet rebate and didn't even realize all these other things that they have. So you can go to their website to learn more, but any Manatee County utility customer is able to get these things. And they have a toilet rebate, irrigation replacement to conserve water, irrigation retrofits to conserve water, rain sensors, wells, and cisterns. So like I said, Michelle can tell you a little bit more about that, but some pretty cool incentives there, Manatee County. For economy, what can you do? Be a sustainable tourist. So you might have heard that term before. When you're traveling, you can look at eco lodges, spending your money in places that have proven that they have sustainability initiatives. You can encourage sustainable agricultural practices and support local food producers. Be smart with your money. So when you're purchasing something, that's making a statement as well. So you can buy products that are sustainably produced, support green businesses, build green and use solar. Basically buy products that aren't just going to be thrown away in the trash either. Like buy something that is made out of recycled content or is going to be reused over and over again. So where do you think energy is being used the most here in Florida? Well, you probably guessed air conditioning because we have our air conditioning on all the time, right? So that's actually 36% of our energy consumption inside of our homes. So if we can reduce that by upgrading our HVAC systems or, reducing the amount of time that we use our air conditioning system, it's really going to help a lot. The next biggest culprit is water heating at 16%, and 13% is heating. Now, if you would see this graphic somewhere up north, if you happen to live somewhere up north, the heating is going to be a lot more because you all use your heat more. This is meant to be for a hot, humid climate. Your refrigerator as a single appliance uses about 8%. And then your other electronics, TVs is about 6%, your clothes dryer 5%, and your lighting is actually 9%. So what are some things you can do to become more energy efficient in your home? Well, you can make your appliances more efficient, your water heating more efficient. You can upgrade your lighting systems to be all LED. You can upgrade your home electronics, your office equipment. You can use alternative energy like solar. You can get an energy audit and look and see where you're using energy. Another big one is vampire loads. So we have a lot of electronics that are plugged in all the time now. We have our cell phones, we have our TVs, our DVD players, all of these things, even if we're not using them at the time, if they're plugged into the wall, they're still sucking energy. That's why we call them vampire loads. So you can unplug these things when you're not using them. And you can also learn more in one of our energy upgrade classes. So the built environment, green building, that's another class that we offer. Try to think about when you're buying a new home or you're building a new home to make sure it is green, because you're not only going to help the environment, but you're also going to save money over the long run if it's more energy and water efficient. You can support educational programs like our green business partners. We have that county commitment that I mentioned earlier. The built environment and green building also has points for Florida-friendly landscaping. So I'll mention that again. It's about reducing the amount of water that you're using in your landscaping as well. Policies to encourage more green building, encourage energy and water efficiency buildings. Improving public transportation is another category for green building too. So having buildings being placed near public transportation and increasing that. And then also promoting edible landscapes and agriculture. Transportation is a huge part of sustainability. What you can do is utilize our public transportation more. We do have public transportation in both counties that you can take advantage of. If you're thinking about buying a new car, I would encourage you to buy an electric vehicle or a hybrid vehicle. You're going to save money by not having to fill up on gas and also reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We have a whole class on that if you're interested in learning more. And carpool when you can, walk and ride your bike, or take a class with us. And what can you do to be more healthy and encourage equity in our community? Well, maintain a healthy and active lifestyle, get outside like we mentioned before, and try to, again, carpool, use public transportation, bike, get outside and exercise and improve your health. There's many things that you can do with our health department as well. Here in Sarasota County, we have a lot of different programs, and I'd be happy to reach out or have you reach out to me to get more information about some of those health programs. Food, buying fresh, local, seasonal food and shopping at farmers markets is really important. It helps reduce food miles, greenhouse gas emissions, you can save money, you can limit your food waste. So I would definitely encourage you to grow your own food at home. We have classes on that. And compost. Compost is huge greenhouse gas emission reduction strategy. So composting your own food at home can really help to improve the environment, but also give you some soil that you can use in your garden. And waste. What can you do to reduce waste? Well, I always say start with refusing that plastic. Getting rid of single-use plastic. Don't use plastic if you can avoid it. Don't use styrofoam. And buy items that are made out of recycled content that you will reuse over and over again. So make sure you're not using those single-use plastic water bottles or straws. Get reusable ones. Same with your shopping bags when you go to the grocery store. Also, when you're buying packages, you can see if you can request with little or no packaging to try to reduce some of that packaging that comes in the mail. Say no to disposable styrofoam products, plastic bottles, bags, utensils, all of those things can really help. You can also try to participate in some cleanups. I know Armando has cleanups. We also have the Keep Sarasota County Beautiful, and in Manatee they have Keep Manatee County Beautiful, and they do 2 cleanups per year, the Great American Cleanup and the International Coastal Cleanup, where you can go pick a site and help clean up that area. There's also the adoption programs in both counties where you can adopt a site and volunteer to keep that area or site clean and free of litter. And we have volunteer awards recognition programs for those. It's a good way to get out into the community and meet more people too. So just to concise and wrap up everything that I just said, what you can do for your personal choices, these are the main things that you can do. Save energy and water at home, be more efficient. It's about your transportation choices, your reducing waste, your landscaping choices, buy local, eat local, support our green business partners, grow your own food, get involved, be healthy, get outside, and think about our next generations. We do have some upcoming events coming up. We have April 22nd is Earth Day downtown Sarasota at 5 Points Park. It starts at 11:30. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Earth Day with this series, and there's going to be a lot of events going on in the community, so go check that out. We also have Oscar Shear State Park Earth Day on April 25th. You can attend our Sustainable Communities Workshop. It's going to be the end of 2020. You can request a speaker or from our office for your group or your club. You can take our extension classes that are all online. You can become a volunteer. Stay up to date with us on our websites or our social media. We post pretty much every event and class that we do on Facebook. So if you haven't liked us yet, please do that. And like I said, this is the first webinar in the monthly series, anchored around the 50th anniversary of Earth Day with Sarasota and Manatee County. It's gonna be the third Thursday monthly from now until the end of the year, starting at noon, ending at 12:45. These are all the topics. They're eventually gonna be up on our Eventbrite page, and all of these webinars are gonna be recorded. And they're going to be put up on our Sarasota County YouTube page. The link is down below. But if you just Google UF Sarasota County YouTube, you can find it. That way, if you miss the beginning of this presentation or if you miss any of the other presentations, you can actually go back and listen to them later and share the links with your family and friends. So thank you so much for having me today. Here are all the contact information for myself, Armando, and Michelle that are planning these webinar series, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you might have at this time.
That was great, Sarah. Thank you so much. And we do actually have a question, so if you open the chat box, you'll see it. Just 1 second, we get in there.
All right, so the question is, any plans to encourage using gray water or develop technology for this county-wise or an individual level? Gray water is something that we do use in the county. I believe in both counties. Manatee County could answer that, but we do use gray water for watering some of our landscapes. Golf courses and county properties, and even in the community. Would love to capture water in shower. I have a rain barrel. That's great. Rain barrels are great, especially in the summertime. There's a lot of free stuff falling out of the sky that you can just capture and then use to water your plants. So it's a good deal. Are those the only 2 questions?
I believe so. Any more
So
questions?
Sarah, it's Michelle, and
Yes.
I know there's often questions about gray water reuse indoors. So I'm wondering if this question is talking about capturing her shower water for reuse, like for toilet flushing.
Yes, okay, sorry, that makes more sense now. You can do that. We actually do that here at our office. We were one of the first to do that. And it's doable. You just have to have separate pipes, one that are labeled for that. And you'll even see, you go into our bathrooms and it says, you know, don't drink this water because it's actually rainwater that we're collecting and we're using to flush our toilets. So you can do that here. You just have to get the right permits to do it. And make sure that the pipes are labeled correctly. So if you're interested in doing that, you can reach out to either Manatee or Sarasota County staff, depending on where you live, and they can help guide you to the right people. Okay, so we have another question come in. What does Sarasota County look like in terms of our water supply? Drinking water in the future. Okay, this is probably something that Abby, our water agent, could answer better than me. But I'll take a shot at it, and then if you would like to contact Abby, you could contact her, and she would definitely be able to help you go into more details about this. But as far as I know, our water supply is good, but we do try to encourage conservation, water conservation, whenever we can. That's why we provide the incentives and the classes to do so, because we want to encourage that, and we want to ensure that we have enough water for future generations. And as our community continues to develop, that's going to be something that's going to, decrease. So we want to make sure that we are conserving water wherever we can. And maybe Michelle might have some comments on that too. I don't know. Because you work a lot with water, I know, Michelle.
I do. So hi, I'm Michelle Atkinson. I'm the environmental horticulture agent here in Manatee County. And here in Manatee County, we actually utilize surface runoff for our drinking water supply. We have Lake Manatee for Manatee County residents, and we have the Evers Reservoir for the city of Bradenton residents. And so that's put us in really good shape here in Manatee County. We have adequate supplies. However, we also have lots and lots of folks moving into the county because we live in a wonderful place. So we encourage conservation, of course, for many reasons, but one of those reasons is to continue to allow new residents to come into the county because, you know, even though we have an adequate supply now, we are growing and we want to plan for the future. So we are always looking for ways to conserve.
That was great. Thank you so much for jumping in, Michelle.
Do we have any more questions?
Let's see. I don't see any more.
Well, like Sarah said, this is being recorded, so you can follow the link if you join us late, or if you want to re-watch this whole presentation, I'll share it with all people. You can go visit our website, our YouTube website. Oh, sorry, or link to our YouTube channel. Put it this way, and you can see it at your own pleasure.
Okay, and I just want to also add, thank you, Sarah, so much. It was a great presentation with lots of great information. You touched a lot on Sarasota County, so there was a couple of things I want to say are also happening here in Manatee. One is the green government. We also are a green government here. The free landscape and irrigation evaluation is available to any Manatee County resident. They do not have to be a utilities customer to take advantage of that. So you can call our office 722 4524 and ask for that, and we'll get you set up. We also offer rain barrel and compost classes here, and then we have a program through UF that we offer here locally called Home Flow. I'm not sure if your office is offering it currently, but the Home Flow program discusses in depth a lot of ways to conserve in the house, from energy to water, and then there are a couple of discussions about outdoor conservation as well through that program. So lots of great programs on sustainability in both counties, and we always encourage you to take advantage of your local extension offices because we are typically a free resource for you, but very inexpensive if there are fees involved with our services. So thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you and hearing from you in future webinars and chats. Armando, did you have something to add?
No, we just have one more question that came in, so I don't know, Sarah, if you want to address that, if you know anything about that.
Are you going to mention the Climate Institute Symposium next Saturday? I'm not sure which one you're referring to. I'm sorry. Did anyone answer that? Climate Institute Symposium next Saturday. I'm not sure. A leap year ahead, it's called. Well, I will definitely have to look that up because I do try to keep up to date on all the climate events going on, and I have not heard about that yet. It's an all-day panel in Bradenton through the Sarasota Institute think tank. Great. Definitely have to look that up. Thank you for that information.
Well, I think that's it then. Thank you again for joining us, and I hope to see you next time.
Thank you so much.